Welcome to another episode of last week's Comics Today. The stack appears slightly bigger than it is, and it's because of this one at the bottom, but we will get there in a few minutes. So we're going to start with Robin. Essentially, this is post-tournament, post-Shadow War. Robin and Hawk are trying to set up Lazarus Island as a sort of refuge for other children like themselves that have been, I'll just say, mistreated by some adults. So they're trying to set up their own society. They wind up going, oops, spoilers. They wind up going on a mission. So firstly, his cousin shows up. And it's her there. And I don't remember if she was in this series or the previous one where she was introduced, but 16 issues. This is already sort of a longer series than I was expecting it to be. I kind of thought it might end at 6, and then the tournament wound up being longer than expected, but whatever. His cousin is now on the island. So they wind up going on a mission. They run into this guy here. There is a momentary team up. Doesn't last for long because they wind up rushing back to Lazarus Island. They do run into Flatline. I do enjoy her as a character, and this series, or this arc, seems to be focusing on her, so I hope things work out well. We do get this panel, which is what's happening while Robin and Hawk are away, and it gave me sort of a Lost flashback, which is this sort of village being built up on a beach. It's nice. And we get, I think there's one more thing. No. So this here on the cover is Lord Deathman. I am unfamiliar with him, but they refer to him. They imply he's a Green Arrow villain, and I don't know if that's true. I've never looked him up. This series is the first time that I've encountered him, but he does seem like fun. And there is a setup here for what is to come, I assume next issue, but things are going well. I'm still enjoying this book. Deadly Class 54. I believe there are only 2 issues left after this. The series is ending. And what's kind of weird is thinking back. So in this, Marcus is very much an adult. He is trying to make a living. There is another bit of a time gap. He has become a writer. He was a struggling writer previously, and here he has sold the script to a TV network. There is a lot, I think, of reality that is shoved into this issue, and it's kind of heartbreaking to see it. So Deadly Class was made into a TV series, and I loved it. The series is phenomenal. It only lasted 1 season, which I think is criminal, and I feel about that 1 season the same way other people feel about Firefly. It's so good, and I wish more people had seen it, more people watched it, and then it had lived on for as long as it could. 5, 6 seasons. 6 seasons in a movie, maybe. I don't know. But it was phenomenal, and unfortunately it was on the Sci-Fi network, and it was not the right place for it. And when Sci-Fi canceled it, no other network picked it up, which I think is also a mistake by everyone involved. But some of that, I think, behind the scenes history is brought into this comic, which is sort of weird considering that it started out as a school for teenage assassins. But those teenagers have grown up, and it's almost like an SLC Punk style ending of what happens once you become an adult and have to deal with the real world. Do you still have that punk sentimentality, that mindset, and what would your younger self think of yourself now? There is a lot happening in here. It is phenomenal. Deadly Class is one of my favorite series of all time, and I absolutely recommend it. Kaiju Score issue 4. This is the end of the series of Steal from the Gods, and it's so good. I don't know how they crammed so much both crime and kaiju into one story, but they've done it again, and it's phenomenal. And once again, I hope the series or series of miniseries continues, because it is extremely good, and I hope more people pay attention to it. But if you are at all interested in an excellent crime story, then absolutely you should pick this up. And if you have a passing interest even in kaiju fights, so these two here are basically ultra kaiju. They are bigger, older, more dangerous than what this world has been dealing with historically, and they both get unleashed, and it's just so good. And while these kaiju are fighting, there's still a theft occurring, and the main character is trying to get her team out and make sure that people survive. It's just really good, and I implore you, check it out. It's extremely good. Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, issue 10. This series is ending next issue, and the previous issue was very much unknown at the time, the calm before the storm, because the storm hits this issue and it hits hard. I don't know how things are going to end. I hope it ends well for whoever is left alive, but it starts out like this. This is page 1. We've got these people on a hill overlooking a house, spying on the people inside. That's never a good way to start. At least not for the people inside the house. This is extremely good. I don't know. I think this might be an instance where I very much enjoyed the series and I don't buy the collection afterward. I don't know that I want to reread this. It's kind of rough, and it's rough in this emotional roller coaster kind of way. It's rough seeing some of the things that happen to the main cast. Like, it's a heavy book, and it is fantastic. I do recommend it if you are able to. I don't even know how to address what's happening. If you're okay with sort of disturbing violence, I'll say that, and then I do recommend this book. But if you are not okay with disturbing levels of violence, then don't do this. Definitely avoid this. Up next we have I Hate This Place, or Fuck This Place, issue 3, I think. Yeah, issue 3. It seems like a lot has happened in very little time. However, we get this guy, this issue. He is Dante Howitzer, which I, first off, love the name. And he is as entertaining as that name is. He is a television ghost exorcist. Maybe just television exorcist. But he has a show. He has this van, which is also fantastic. So the ladies call him up trying to deal with the ranch they have, and he has this moment that I would like to show you. This here. I love it. So he's entertaining. Him playing off of these two is fantastic, and their attempt, I will say, because it's only issue 3. And as far as I can tell, it's an ongoing series. There's no indication in the solicit that this is a limited series, which surprises me, but I'm happy with it. So there's no indication so far that things are wrapping up anytime soon. Very curious to see where this ultimately goes, but it is extremely enjoyable now. It is funny, it's disturbing, it's just a fantastic read. Highly recommended. Iron Cat issue 2, this is a 5-issue miniseries. Issue 1 was focused on Felicia. Issue 2 is focused on the antagonist of the series, the woman inside the Iron Cat suit. So we get a lot of her backstory, and there's a small amount of stuff happening in the present as far as Felicia and Tony and their attempts to, I guess, get the suit back for one, and then stop things in general from happening with or using the suit. But it's fine. It's enjoyable. I'm still enjoying McKay's writing of Black Cat, but as far as this issue in particular, it's okay. I don't think I have anything else to say. I will show off the art. Let's show off the art. Show off some of this, which I don't think is a spoiler, but we get some breaking and entering. Car's nice. I have no complaints. It seems like low praise, but it's good. It's fine. Ultimately, it's fine. Lastly, as far as single issues go, we have Detective Comics 1062. This is the beginning of the Ram V and Raphael Albuquerque run, and I had hopes. I was a huge fan of Albuquerque's, specifically when he was doing American Vampire, but really it even predates that somewhat. But I had high hopes for this, and I'm ultimately kind of disappointed in it. It is weird, I will say that, but the art is good. I still enjoy his work. And look at this. I still enjoy the art. The writing, however, is just weird. Basically, Batman senses something is off. He tests himself, he times himself, and he senses he is off. As I said, he's a little bit slow. He's running some tests on himself. Things come back normal, but he's like, I don't think that's right. So there he is running some more tests. He calls up Dick. They have a conversation. Dick says, maybe you're just getting old. And he's like, no, that's not it. And weirdly, they have TVs in their wrists now. I don't remember that before, but whatever. So that's the main story. There is a separate story involving people I've never seen before. I don't know if these are new characters, but we will get to these people. I don't know them. I don't know if I'm supposed to or if they're new, and that's always the hard thing. When you're not following a series and you jump in 1,000 issues, am I supposed to know these people? But ultimately, I don't care, because I'm not going to continue reading this. I've made that decision, and there's a kind of I try a lot of series, right? So I get a lot of first issues, and I don't always continue, and there's sort of a relief when I don't add a title to my pull list, because I do get quite a bit already. I get, I think, the amount that I enjoy and the amount that I can read without getting backlogged. So there's a certain amount of joy when I find a new title and I'm like, oh, this is fantastic, I need to add this to my pull list because I really want to find out what happens next. But there's a kind of lesser joy when I don't add something to my pull list. It's a relief in a way of, oh good, this isn't something that I'm gonna have to be following for potentially years. So I'm bowing out of Detective Comics, and I will continue with Batman and Zdarsky. That is, I think, based on one issue each, the superior Batman book at the moment. And so you decide for yourself. Lastly, I got the Bolero collection. I did videos about each of the previous issues of this miniseries. I did a video for each of the issues of this miniseries, so I'm not going to talk about it here, but this is a highly enjoyable book. This is one of the highlights for the year for me. They were, I think it was only a 4, maybe it was 5-issue series, but they were each oversized, so there's a huge amount of page count here. That's a weird sentence, but I will say that if you are not okay with naked people, don't get this book. There are many, many naked people in it. But it is also extremely enjoyable. There's some more naked people. It is extremely enjoyable. Highly recommended. This is, as I said, one of the highlights of the year for me. Check this out if you didn't get the single issues. So that is everything that I got this week. As far as pick of the week, maybe Fuck This Place, maybe Kaiju Score, and that's also great. Deadly Class. Ooh, this is tough. Wow. I did not prepare. I did not think this through. I'm not gonna give it to Vengeance, but as far as these three, wow, that is tough. You know what? I'm just gonna give it to all three. These are highly enjoyable, extremely different titles, and they are all worthy of some additional attention. Whew. Deadly Class is weird. Again, thinking about where it started versus where it is now. Kaiju score, once again, I just hope that it continues, and fuck this place, or I hate this place, as it is accurately titled here. I hate this place. It's just extreme amounts of fun, and also horror. It's very interesting, highly enjoyable. But that is everything that I got this week. As always, I get my books from a local comic shop. If you don't know where yours is, you can use this URL to find the one closest to you. Thanks for watching.